Good evening and welcome to Season 2 of Across the Pitch. We're the soccer show for people who think Maradona sang like a virgin.
I like it. Didn't he also put out like a soft porn book like way back in the 90s as well? Or was that Madonna? Wait, I'm getting the two mixed up here.
Of course, Madonna would be the female pop singer who sang like a virgin when
Never heard of her.
And now, Maradona, I would say he's most famous for first winning the World Cup with Argentina and then snorting up the entire country of Colombia in celebration.
Yeah, I would think that our English fans might know him a little bit more from what is termed the hand of God during that run. They knocked out England by Maradona clearly punching the ball into the back of the net. They're still filthy about it. I reckon that started the Falklands War.
Yeah, they didn't have any VAR back then.
No. Clearly they weren't even having a chat to their linesman about it either at the time. Yes. I don't know if you've seen this, Phil. Have you seen this, The Hand of God?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I think that everybody just about has seen that one, and it certainly was somebody's hand.
And judging from his soft porn book in the 90s, it wasn't any other member of his body. Oh, wait, no, that was Madonna. What am I talking about? Right. Okay. We digress. We're back in form. And yes, ladies and gents, we're back. The difficult second season that some thought or hoped would never arrive is finally here. We're going to be talking about all the hard-hitting football news that you may have missed during the off-season, such as, is Mesut Ozil's new hairstyle a notice of intent or an attempt at distracting attention from his flagging football guile? How does a man bun like Gareth Bale's not get the derision it deserves? And we look into Zinedine Zidane's hat collection. All that and more on the Season 2 opener of Across the Pitch.
Yes, and thank you for joining us, and of course, thank you to everyone who helped us get over 5,000 streams for our first season.
Can we get a round of applause for that?
We're hoping that you'll all continue to join us for Season 2. My name is Phil Kennedy, and I'm here with my co-host,
Arran.
And Matt Robards and Darren Woodhead and a host of guests will be joining us on our upcoming episodes throughout the season. But we start Season 2 the way we started Season 1 with me and Arran here getting ready to talk some football.
Yeah.
And now I think that we have a few things in the works here for Season 2. Did you want to tell people about some of the things we had getting ready to start here?
Yes, well, thanks, Phil. We have got a bevy of interviews, if you will. We've got a huge range of guests coming on this week, and they'll probably be coming out in subsequent weeks as well. But first off, we're kicking it off with Kevin Egan. Phil, you're going to be taking charge of that one there. Kevin Egan is the announcer for Atlanta United FC. Atlanta United FC, if you've been following our Facebook page and on our website, is our team of the month. And didn't they have a cracking game the other day against DC United, Phil?
Yes, they did, and they also have a very, very big game coming up on Friday against LAFC, where they're going to travel all the way across the country and play the top team in the Western Conference. Now, Atlanta, of course, is the team that won the MLS Cup last year, and LAFC is the favorite this year because they're just kind of running away with the West. This is going to be the only matchup in the regular season of the year between these two teams, and it's happening at LA.
Fantastic.
Luckily, we're going to talk to Kevin the day before that, and he's going to hopefully give us some inside look into what we can look for and what surely is going to be the MLS game of the week.
Of the season, probably. Am I right? No, that's going to be a cracker.
It really is. I mean, you have some of the biggest stars. You have Joseph Martinez, who last year set the all-time MLS record in goals scored with 31. And now for LAFC, you have Carlos Vela, who's
Mm.
on pace to break that record this year. But now you have Joseph Martinez coming back. He's at 15 goals now. He's scored at 5 games in a row. So these two might go down the stretch to not only be the leading scorer in the league, but also to try and set the all-time record. And they're going to be going head-to-head here on Friday.
Yeah. So there's been a bit of controversy during the week or over the weekend where you mentioned Carlos Vela, who is having an outstanding season. But Zlatan Ibrahimovic, mentioned that no, he's not that good and he's better. What are your thoughts on that, Phil?
If you look at what Zlatan said, it's really kind of hard to argue with. I mean, he said, look, Zlatan is 37 years old right now. He's on 16 goals. Martinez is on 16 goals. I misspoke earlier. I said 15. Martinez and Zlatan, who had a hat trick last weekend against LAFC, is on 16 goals. Now, Carlos Vela is on 21 goals, so he has 5 more. But basically what Zlatan's saying is he's saying, I'm 37, I've got 16 goals. Vela is 29. When I was 29, I was playing for teams like Manchester United and Real Madrid. I wasn't in the MLS at that point, and it's hard to argue. I mean, if Zlatan is scoring second leading scorer in the league at 37, at 29, he'd probably have 40 goals by now.
Well, yeah, if you listen to Zlatan, he probably conceived Carlos Vela, right? Because he has a wonderful way of talking himself up. And if my memory doesn't fade too much, he didn't really have a great time at Manchester United from memory. I also have a little bit, yes, sure, he was playing the EPL at that time, but it's also sort of having a dig at the whole MLS as well. Like, say, you're provincial, you're basic is basically what he's saying there. And I think he's doing a Zlatan, like they call him the Zlatan for reasons such as this. But that's a bit unfair, I think.
I think one thing that you have to look at, going back, and I actually misspoke earlier when I said that he played for Real Madrid. He actually played for Barcelona in Spain.
Oh, yes. Mm.
And around that time, so he's talking about when he was 29. When he was 29, he was actually playing for Inter Milan.
Right,
If you look at Inter Milan, he played there from 2006 to 2009. 2009 to 2011, he was playing between Barcelona and Milan. And during that time, he played 29 games with Barcelona and 29 games with Milan on loan. So it was a total of 58 games for top teams in Europe. In those 58 games, he had 16 goals for Barcelona, 14 for Milan. So he was scoring.
Yeah, see, I think the thing that's bigger than his scoring tally is his ego, this guy, right? I've never been a fan. I mean, let me put it this way. I'm going to quote him when I say this. The older I get, the better I get. Well, he's kind of disproved that. But anyway, also, he said, and he's kind of got a foot in each camp with this quote, okay? He says, I do not need a trophy to tell me I'm the best. Well, yeah, okay, mate. All right, if you say so.
Got 38 goals in 44 games since coming to LA Galaxy. And so he played, as you said, he played for Manchester United from 2016 through 2018. That was when he was age, 34, 35, 36-ish. 33 appearances, 17 goals. So he's still scoring a goal every other game at 35 in the Premier League. I'll give him the nod over Vela. I mean, you want to talk about hard time, how'd Vela do at Arsenal?
Oh, man, I honestly, almost forgot that he played for Arsenal. So that's probably all you need to know about that.
Well, you don't forget if Zlatan goes to Circle K, so yeah.
So he was, he was in Arsenal for
4 years, I think.
between. I think it was, yeah. He was out on loan for a long time. I believe he was only there for 1 year, but he was out on loan after that. He made 29 appearances and 3 goals. So it was
He was actually
hardly
there for 7 years, but he was loaned out the whole time.
right. Yeah. He hardly set the world on fire while he was there. I remember him being okay, but that's about it, really. But yeah,
Really, what you have to look at is his biggest sample size from Europe was playing at Real Sociedad. I know I just
Sociedad.
fucked that up, I'm sure.
Real
It's in
Sociedad.
the Spanish league. He scored 54 goals in 184 games. So he was scoring less than 1 goal every 3 games, playing in the Spanish league, which is a higher scoring league than the Premier League, where Zlatan, at a much more advanced age, was scoring a goal every other game for Manchester United in the Premier League. I'm going to say, Vela is a fantastic player, but he's not Zlatan. I mean, there certainly could be another Vela in Area 51 for all I.
Oh, boom tish. There we go. Nice little pop culture reference there. I actually even mentioning Carlos Vela and Zlatan in the same sentence is probably testament to the season that Vela is having.
Oh, yeah.
He is having a good season.
Well, I think another thing that's worth mentioning is that Zlatan is one of only 3 active players to score over 500 career club goals, and the other guys on that list are named Messi and Ronaldo.
Fair enough. We did a massive digression there, but that was a little rundown on some MLS feuds.
Yeah, our player of the week is Zlatan.
That's fine. All right, he can have it. I'm sure he doesn't need that trophy, but he's got it anyway,
Another
mate. All right, there you go. Our very first season 2 across the pitch trophy, and it goes to the knobhead of the week, Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Anyway, but we're also this week, and it's going to be a very, very, very busy across the pitch week. We're also going to be having a chat to a guy named David Saunders. Now, David Saunders is, well, one of Darren Woodhead's favourite team's announcers, if that makes sense. It's the Tulsa Roughnecks announcer. Tulsa is a USL, I wouldn't say competitor. I'd say they're in, well, not even the same league. They're trash. Okay. But Darren Woodhead.
If you had a chance to read my preview today, they're actually playing against LA Galaxy 2 on Wednesday, who are also trash, and certainly that's one that needed a sense of humor to write, but it is worth reading about that, because the Tulsa Roughnecks are not only our next interview, they're also the next opponent of the Phoenix Rising on Saturday.
Yes. So this is going to be great fun, actually. I hope the guy's got a sense of humor.
I think he has to call it that team's game.
Right. No offense, Tulsa Roughnecks fans and Darren Woodhead. For those of you that don't know, last time these two teams met, Phoenix Rising beat Tulsa to the tune of 5-0, I think, wasn't it?
That was a dollar beer night.
A dollar beer night, right. So it's not dollar beer night, but Phoenix Rising is on the cusp of an historic run, I guess you could say. And it is against Tulsa, where they're looking at going 11 unbeaten in the season. Sorry, that's 11 consecutive games unbeaten in the season.
Not unbeaten, it would be 11 consecutive wins.
Sorry. I stand corrected. 11 wins in a row. And these guys are standing in the way of that, and they're not going to, are they?
So to back up a little bit with the 10-game winning streak that they're currently on, Phoenix Rising has tied Cincinnati's record from last season of 10 wins in a row. This Saturday, they're going to be playing the Tulsa Roughnecks. The Tulsa Roughnecks, who they beat 5-0 on Dollar Beer Night. Now, that's one thing. They're traveling to Tulsa. Let me give you an idea here. So right now, the Tulsa Roughnecks have scored 18 points this season. Last season, the Tulsa Roughnecks scored 21 points the entire season. If you add those two numbers together, you get 39 total points that the Tulsa Roughnecks have scored since the beginning of 2018. Phoenix Rising have 41 points this year.
Ouch. Look, being an absolute pessimistic football fan that I am, I can't be overly confident. I never can. But in this instance, I'm going to say, yeah, we're going to get that 11-game winning streak. We're going to get the record. Oh, and by the way, where's Cincinnati this year?
At the basement of the MLS.
But they're in the MLS, though, aren't they? And yet the MLS won't even mention Phoenix Rising in their press statements. I'm cheesed off.
Cheesed off.
That's my first cheesed off of the season because, hello, Phoenix Rising is smashing it down in the USL. We've shown that we can have, record-breaking crowds during 110-degree heat in the middle of summer. Yes, all right, it's on Dollar Beer Night. But smashing it, breaking records everywhere. MLS doesn't even mention us in their expansions for next year or the coming years. I'm cheesed off. Wake up to yourselves, you knobheads.
Realistically, we already have an MLS team. Have you seen the recent 538 rankings?
Yes. The
Phoenix Rising in the 538 rankings. Guess who the two teams directly above them in the 538 rankings are?
LAFC and Atlanta.
Atlanta, our team of the month, is one. The other is Sheffield Wednesday from the championship.
Oh, Sheffield Wednesday.
Yeah,
really?
So basically, now this is obviously a hypothetical numbers-based thing, but this website called 538, they rank soccer teams from all the leagues in the world based on expected goals scored and expected goals allowed, and it takes strength of league and all of that into account. Right now, the 538 rankings have the Phoenix Rising in right about the 200th best team in the world. And in the most recent rankings that came out, the two teams that were directly above them are Atlanta United, who are currently second place in the MLS Eastern Conference and defending champions, and Sheffield Wednesday, who are a team that are likely to finish top of the table in the championship this year. This ranking is saying that Phoenix Rising, if they played in the MLS, would probably be a third or a fourth place team.
Yeah. I think, and it is hypothetical, isn't it, Phil? You can only really sort of talk about this on paper, but I think there was only 3 teams in the MLS above Phoenix Rising in that list, which I'm going to say I'm finding that hard to believe.
Well, I mean, here's what you have to think about it is MLS teams, they are a bit unbalanced. For instance, if you look at Atlanta United, you have Joseph Martinez with 16 goals, and then the next highest scoring guy on the team has like 5. With the Phoenix Rising, they truly have a complete team. You're talking about a team that has the most goals scored in their conference, the fewest goals allowed in their conference. Their goalkeeper has 10 clean sheets already, and he didn't even start the year as a starter. I mean, this team is literally... They're not quite putting up the same kind of numbers that we were talking about Ajax doing in the Eredivisie last year, but by the end of the season, it could be a 50 plus 60 goal differential. Last year, Orange County had a plus 30 goal differential, which was the best in the Western Conference. I wouldn't be surprised for them to go plus 60 by the end of the year, the way that things are going.
Yeah, the team does look to be going from strength to strength. They beat fourth placed Austin Bold, who you might remember had that wonderful little farm episode. What would you call that? Falling down? I don't know. Mental institution check-in.
Well, I think that I figured it out is that Austin Bold's chairman is also the chairman of the Great American, or it should be the Cirque de America racetrack. I think that he may have been stealing a page out of the book of legendary NASCAR promoter Humpy Wheeler, who was known for bringing.
That's a great name.
He was known for bringing like circus animals, and at one point even brought a shark to the racetrack, a dead shark to the racetrack, and drove it around the track because there was this was back in the 70s when the movie Jaws was popular. And Daryl Waltrip was nicknamed Jaws, and so they brought the shark to the racetrack, and it's just one of the most famous promotions in NASCAR's lore, if you will. So I think that maybe that's where Austin got the idea. Is like Bobby Epstein is the name of their chairman, who's the racetrack owner also.
Right. Okay. Well, I need to go back to the drawing board with that one, I think. No, we do, because we were talking about how Phoenix Rising thrashed fourth place Austin Bowl 6-0. Phoenix Rising looking excellent this season. Your 538 website there, you mentioned, Phil, has Phoenix Rising at a greater than 99% chance of making the playoffs, and to win the league, 42%. And the only ones that really sort of come close is Tampa Bay in the Eastern Conference, who are also plus 99% to make the playoffs, but only 12% to win the league. That's a big difference there.
It really is impressive because the really impressive thing about this winning run that they've been on is that they've been missing guys. They had Junior Flemings and Kevin Lambert at the CONCACAF Gold Cup with Jamaica for the better part of a month. Lambert has actually only appeared once in the past month and a half because he's now with the Olympic trials, and that appearance was a sub on. They still have Jason Johnson injured. They still have Alessandro Rigi injured. And now they've just brought in a new defender from Liverpool. I mean, this team is just getting better and better.
Glad you brought that up. Yeah, I mean, that is a statement of intent if ever I've seen one. So the defender is Corey Whelan. Liverpool, should we say, not quite EPL starter, but, he's,
Liverpool Academy product.
Right, yeah. Under 23 captain. He's on the cusp of being an EPL player. Yeah. We've gone and snapped him up. Like, that's a huge statement of intent. That is incredible. And up until quite recently, I would have said that would have been exactly what our defence needed, but our defence seems to have sorted itself out as well. So I'm really amazed at this outfit, how they're able to pull these players in.
Speaking of Sheffield Wednesday, to kind of prove that they maybe are on the same level of Sheffield Wednesday, Whelan, he's exactly the kind of guy where if maybe Liverpool didn't think they were going to have a spot for him in their lineup, he's the kind of guy that would normally go to a Sheffield Wednesday.
Right. He's currently, or was, with League Two club Crewe Alexandra, but he's also under 21 Ireland international as well. He's a quality player. He's got a lot in front of him. Is it a loan? Do we buy him? Is it a loan? What's happening there?
We purchased him. I think that he's ours. And mentioning that he's 21 is another big thing. I did see on Twitter yesterday that not only are the Phoenix Rising doing everything that they're doing it with the third youngest roster in the league right now. So this is a team that's going to be good for years to come if they can hang on to these guys.
Exactly. We've mentioned it before that the contracts are usually pretty short with USL clubs, but Phoenix Rising seems to have a good track record of hanging on to players. So, yeah, great stuff. Oh, it's exciting stuff. You might be wondering why we're talking so much about local football, and that's because it is the dog days of summer when it comes to English football. We're currently into international pre-season friendlies, and we do have, our Arsenal here in town. Well, not in town, I should say. They're here in the States. They were playing Real Madrid today. We're recording on a Tuesday today, which is a little bit different. Went down in penalties to Real Madrid. Nonetheless, so it's a little bit skimpy on the football front in England. There's plenty of transfers, but I think I want to leave that one for when we have Matt because, Mr. Wizard, he is the guy that will have his eyeballs on the print of the newspaper digesting all of this. So maybe we'll save that for next week.
The kind of guy that likes to let them throw their cards in the air, and then once the rosters are set, I look at him and say, okay, this is who we got this year. But Matt's more of a, hey, did you hear this guy's going to this place?
My answer's usually nope.
He's the only guy I know that has a print subscription to the Sun.
And it's for the sports. It's totally for the sports. He's got that subscription. Anyway. Did they still have boobs on page 3? I think they got rid of them, actually. Anyway, we digress. Yeah, so we'll save some transfer talk. Arsenal has been playing here. Everyone's getting a little bit carried away on the Arsenal forums, I've noticed. So first off, they've had 3 wins in a row. One against Fiorentina. This is going to test me here. Another one against Bayern Munich, where everyone was like, yeah, we're the greatest on earth. Nevertheless, Bayern Munich is on a bit of a decline at the moment. And also, it's a pre-season friendly. Just check it, right? The other one, of course, the other game was against the other Stan Kroenke franchise, if you will, the Colorado, little puff piece for him there. And that was really rather irritating, honestly. The match was all just a bit of an ego boost, I think, for this guy. He's like, look how good my 2 franchises are, knobhead. Anyway, I digress there. Whoops. Where was I going? Oh, yes, no, we've got plenty to talk about because Mesut, he's got new blonde hair and apparently a new statement of intent. So he did come out the other day saying that he is at his finest form. He'd want to be because Arsenal's paying him a fortune to do that. Speaking of paying a fortune, here's a guy, Gareth Bale, which is being paid approximately twice as much by Real Madrid, and Zinedine Zidane doesn't really like that too much, despite the fact that ever since Ronaldo's left, he has been the mainstay, the midfielder that's pushed them forward. They really don't like him over there, and I find this baffling the way he's been treated there at Real Madrid, and I do feel like that he's been made a scapegoat for the failings. This dude, he knows how to play. I feel like he's a scapegoat for Real Madrid's shortcomings in the past season. It's not his fault. There was a whole organisational mismatch there. It was awful. And now they're trying to spend their way out of it again. All right. Anyway. Also, I want to give a shout out to a guy that I met on Dollar Beer Night. I was in the beer line. I saw this guy had a Loons hat. Now, for those of you who don't know who the Loons are, that's our former team of the month, Minnesota United. They're on a bit of a tear at the moment. Yeah. So, hey, Garrett, how are you? I said I'd mention you on the show. Hope you're listening. How are our Loons going? They seem to be doing okay.
Fourth in the West. I'm planning a little bit of a journey, actually. On September 1st, they're going to be in L.A., playing LAFC, and I am going to make the 300-mile drive down the I-10 and see that in person. And I have already been in contact with our friend Callum Williams and maybe meeting up with him for a beer before the game. September 1st.
When is this happening? Oh, man, let me just check my calendar here. Yeah, I'm coming.
That'll be currently first place LAFC versus currently 4th place Minnesota at LA. That's sure to be a cracker of a match.
Yes. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. You know what? They did go and dust our friends New Mexico United. Thanks for that, by the way, Loons. Good on him. That made us all very happy here in Arizona. I don't know. They're going to have a hard time in LA, aren't they?
In the semifinal round, we're down to 4 teams left in the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup. On August 6th, we have our Team of the Month, Atlanta United, who will no longer be our Team of the Month by then, but they're playing Orlando City at Orlando. And then on August 7th, Minnesota United is playing Portland Timbers at Minnesota at the Allianz Field. So, if Minnesota and Atlanta were to win, then our last two teams of the month could be meeting in the final for the U.S. Open Cup. So if you don't think it's good luck to be our team of the month, look no further than the U.S. Open Cup.
And for those teams out there that are struggling a little bit and maybe you want to get a little bit of good juju on your side, get in contact with us. That's contact@acrossthepitch.com, and we'll be happy to have you on the show for a fee. Maybe joking about the fee, but maybe.
I think that with August rolling around, we'll probably have an English team for our next team of the month, and
yes,
and I'm excited for that. And I know that.
How about, Phil, we announce a competition? Why don't we do a poll on our Facebook page where we select a couple of teams, and I'm thinking maybe newly promoted teams.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And we say vote on this, and one winner from the successful team of the month will win a what? Have we got anything to give away?
3 new teams in League One. We already did Tranmere. So, I mean, we could have a runoff. So the other 2 teams are what? MK Dons and Lincoln City.
Escapes me. Lincoln, right, yeah.
So what if we do a runoff between Lincoln City and MK Dons?
Sounds good to me, man.
And
I think that
one of those 2 will be our August team of the month.
All right, and I think that someone who votes on that will win some sort of across the pitch merchandise, which I don't think we have, but we'll get it to them anyway.
Well, we do have. If you're a listener in the Accrington area, we know we have quite a few listeners in the Accrington area. We do have a shipment of our across the pitch magnets that are headed over to the Accrington area, and by the end of July, our English correspondent Darren Woodhead will have the across the pitch magnets over there. So he'll have them out at the Wham Stadium. So make sure that you get a hold of Darren, and you can get an across the pitch magnet for your car or refrigerator.
Now, more big news from Darren Woodhead as well. Just the other day, his book was finally released. 50 Years at Accrington Stanley. We've mentioned it several times on the show here. It is finally out. And it was a good thing they didn't have to go down and have to do that sort of relegation bit again, because it got out on time. And you can actually go ahead and purchase one of those. Do you know where to get that from, Phil?
Yes, there's a couple of places. And so one of the places is actually on our website. If you go to acrossthepitch.com/shop, you can pick up Darren's book for $10 plus shipping.
$10 purchase.
Or if you want to, you can also go to the Accrington Stanley Official Supporters Club website, which is onstanleyon.com, and you will find there you will be able to purchase it for £8. So if you want to purchase in British currency, on stanleyon.com for £8. If you want to purchase in American currency, go to acrossthepitch.com/shop. You'll find it right there. Purchase it for $10. And if you're at onstanleyon.com, you may want to check out their new affiliates page, because Across the Pitch is listed as one of the new affiliates of the Accrington Stanley Supporters Club, and we will be having our Across the Pitch logo going up in the fan zone at the Wham Stadium next year.
I am so excited about this. This is quite amazing that actually happened. I feel like we might have to make a trip to the UK sometime during the next season, you and I, Phil, so that we can, well, go and see it and see an Accrington game live. That'd be great, wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah, I would love to see that.
That'd be great. All right, I think we're just about done for the very first episode of Season 2. Wait. News across the Pitch news desk. Zinedine Zidane has revealed his favourite hat. Yes, the hat to cover that famous bald nut of his, and that hat is a hat-trick. And on that bombshell,
I'll break out the drums for that one. Yes, and on that bombshell, we will wrap up our very first episode of Season 2. Like we mentioned earlier, we have a very, very busy week coming up. I will actually be recording a short episode with Darren tomorrow morning, where we're going to talk about his book and preview the upcoming Accrington season. Thursday morning, I'm talking with Kevin Egan, as we mentioned earlier. Friday, me and Matt will be covering the transfer window, and then this weekend, we will be interviewing Tulsa Roughnecks announcer David Saunders. Darren and Arran, will you be on that one?
Yes.
Darren, Arran, and I will all be talking with David Saunders, Tulsa Roughnecks announcer, just after they get roughed up by the Phoenix Rising.
I see what you did there. Looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to Season 2. We've got plenty ahead of us. I'm very excited. Looking forward to having a chat to a few of our fans as well. And I think this is going to be an excellent season for us, and a great season of football, no doubt, as well, Phil.
I can't wait for it. And thank you for joining me tonight, Arran, and thank you for everybody for listening. We'll have Mr. Wizard back with us shortly, and don't miss our special interviews coming up later this week.
Looking forward to it. My mate from State 48.
My brother from down under.
Have a good one.
Have a good one.